My name's Father Philip Connor. I'm the parish priest of St Joseph's in Lancaster in the north of England. I've been here about 6 years. Before I became a parish priest here, I'd been a youth chaplain for the diocese. We would really basically run retreats and say, not so much teach the young people about faith, but give them an experience. And that was really through proclaiming the gospel. What was beautiful was just seeing lives being totally transformed. It's very simple. We make things very complicated, but when we place our trust in the power of the gospel, when we believe the Lord's actually going to turn up, amazing things begin to happen. So that was my starting point when I came to this parish. I thought, this is a fantastic community. The liturgy was celebrated beautifully, music was great, but I said, where's all the people? You know, if we have something so good here, where is everyone? This was a question right at the beginning of Divine Renovation. Struck me. If this church were to close, who in the wider community would notice? We live in a PostChristian age. And I thought, yeah, okay, it's true. The tide comes in and out. That has happened the whole way through history. But what about us? What about us here today? After a couple of years of being here, and we'd run different courses, they were great. But what I noticed, it was the same people coming to them time in, time out. And actually, the culture of the parish wasn't changing. In fact, I was becoming a little bit despondent and thinking, well, maybe this is just the way parish life is. Then I ended up going to a Divine Renovation conference, and there I just heard that actually there's another way through all of this. You know, I haven't become a priest to just manage to decline and watch a community just shrivel up. And I think going to that conference, it reignited my vocation and that sense of mission. And this started off in this parish, a journey of hope. I remember challenging the parish. I said, listen, unless we actually begin to think in a new way, this church will become a gym within 10 years. You could see people think, we don't want this to happen. Of course, none of us want this to happen. We're made for life, and that was the starting point. We sort of set off very simply, just trying to call the parish together, did a little assessment about what's working well, what's not, and try to get people to buy in, to be involved with it. But the main thing which we began was the Alpha course, and just the whole concept of having a meal, people coming together, getting to know each other, speaking about their faith and their struggles with it. It actually began to open up amazing things. And it also, as we continued on that path, it began to develop leaders within the parish. To be honest, at this point, I was still very skeptical about Divine Renovation. I thought, really, can it work in a little parish in the north of England? You know, we're a very ordinary, very simple parish. I wondered whether it would happen, but then we had this opportunity to have a coach. I've never been coached. I thought, how is this going to work? And I ended up with a guy called Matt, who is actually in Texas. Now, he was telling me about his parish. I think they have 4,000 every Sunday, and they have 40 employed. And I was thinking, it's so different. What can he teach me, or how can he help me? I mean, we don't have anyone employed here. It's a very different situation. But the coaching actually gave me a grounding which I'd never had before. You are expected as a priest to be the leader of a parish, the father of a parish, to take people forward, but no one actually teaches you how to do that or shows you. You end up being very reactive and actually exhausted because you're reacting the whole time, and you never can ask those wider questions or the deeper questions about where we're actually going. And Matt, who was my coach, he began to ask that question of me. And it began to help me formulate a vision as to where we were going and how we were going to get there. And of course, when you come across difficulties, to have someone who says it's okay, just hold steady. That's been an amazing revelation for me, because I think sometimes if I hadn't had the backup of a coach, as soon as I hit difficult times, I think I probably would have just retreated back and we wouldn't have moved forward. It's enabled the parish to change, to develop, to open up, to reach out beyond itself, to actually begin to serve the wider community. There's so many things which seem to have a life of their own and enable people to participate and share their gifts in so many different ways. Just sit back sometimes and I just think it's beautiful to watch.